right, the Labour Party crisis has continued to linger in different manner. Omo, we no can understand what is really going on again. Well, you could recall that 2 days ago, the one fraction of the Labour Party, led by Lamido and Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti, raised a concern to suspend Abure as part of the member and leadership of Labour Party. Well, today again, Abure has come out to suspend Governor Alex Otti from being part of the members of Labour Party. A lot of issues is going on in Labour Party. Watch this video and hear how this man dissected this whole issue. Share your own opinion respectively on the comment sections. I'll be right back.
Well, the Abure State government has described the suspension of Governor Alex Otti as an affront to democracy. In a statement, the governor's special advisor on media and publicity described Abure as a man desperate to use Governor Otti's name to advance his self-serving economic agenda. He called on the police to arrest Abure and on the electoral body, INEC, to ensure the full implementation of the Supreme Court's judgment. Well, let's bring in Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Oba Madwabuchi, for the legal angle to this lingering crisis in the Labour Party. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.
It doesn't seem to end. But, I mean, from the legal point of view, are you surprised that despite the Supreme Court saying, to your tent, O Israel, go and solve your crisis, we are still here? Both factions continue to misinterpret the citizenry of the Supreme Court, and you have a faction now suspending a sitting governor and federal lawmakers. Is that even legal? Can a party do that?
Yes, you can be suspended as a member of a party, any organization you belong to. It doesn't matter what status you hold. But and that is what the Supreme Court means by I do not throw your face for you. Now you can say you suspend P2B from Labour. You suspend the only governor you have, or Alex Otti. You suspend all your national legislators, and you still claim to be a party. But if that is the way you want to go, that's your business. That is what the Supreme Court. I think the most misunderstood judgment of the Supreme Court is on this question of leadership of political parties, internal affairs of political parties. The Supreme Court did not say that courts cannot control political parties. But the Supreme Court said that all political questions, all political issues are beyond the courts because they are not decided based on law. They are decided based on political considerations. Judges are not politicians. So they don't know the basic. For example, when Tinubu had a coalition with Buhari, he ceded the presidency to him, even though Tinubu had 5 governors. But he knew that there was something Buhari had, which he needed, 12 million votes.
Yes.
Which if he added to his own 5 or 7 million votes, they would remove PDP. That is political sagacity. He made that concession, even left the vice presidency and brought in Yemi Osinbajo. And today APC is in power. That is what the Supreme Court is saying. We don't decide things like that for you.
So with the Supreme Court ruling on this, we expected that the Supreme Court judgment would clearly and deepen democracy.
Yes.
Or but now it looks like it has even deepened the crisis within the Labour Party.
Yes.
In a way that we don't even know who exactly is the Labour Party. When you say somebody is suspended and then you refer to the person as a former member of the party, it's confusing. So what does the Supreme Court need to come out clearly again to say, look, this is the Supreme Court ruling on this?
Yes.
So what exactly? I mean,
yes. You see, I did Oku and Ume about 10, 13 years ago. It was on between Oku and Victor Ume, who was the national chairman of APGA. We took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did not strike it out, saying that it's the internal affairs of a political party. Because what I raised was that Ume had overstayed his welcome. He was elected and has spent the 8 years allowed by the constitution of the party. So that raised a legal issue. The legality of his continued stay in office. The question, how did this man get to this point? Issues that raise questions of legality, constitutionality. The courts have consistently, the Supreme Court has consistently said we can go into it. But if it is a political question, who is our candidate, who is our chairman, we don't have business with that. But when we have a controversy as deep as labor, because there are two standing
factions.
Yes, factions now, and two individuals who are claiming. Nenadi is claiming to be the leader. Now Abure is claiming to be the leader. Don't forget that once a political party is registered, it deposits its constitution with INEC, according to the Nigerian constitution.
Right.
It is not cosmetic.
It's not for decoration.
Yes, it's not for decoration. It is because INEC will have that constitution. If we come to INEC and say, we elected this man for 4 years, and he has finished his tenure, they look at the constitution and say, my friend, you have finished your tenure, so what are you doing here?
You know, as you were speaking, I went to the INEC website, except their web developer has refused to update it, which I don't think is the case. But looking at the INEC website, this minute, this second,
yes,
it is recognizing Barrister Julius Abure, in brackets, by court order, as the national chairman of the Labour Party. It's on the website of INEC. So you wonder, where does all of this go? Nenadi Usman has called on INEC, the caretaker committee led by Nenadi Usman, is calling on INEC to recognize the Supreme Court's judgment, calling on the police to arrest Abure. But here you have on INEC website, Abure, by court order, the national chairman. I would like you to end back in court with this case.
There's no way they won't go back to court. And what you are going back to court to do...
Which court exactly?
No, the whole thing must start afresh. It is impossible for you not to start afresh because of the stance of the two contestants. Nobody is yielding an inch. Nobody is yielding an inch. And INEC has said by court order. I am not aware of any court order.
Yeah, that's on the website. It's
yes.
right there.
I am not aware of any court order which says Abure is a national chairman. What the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, said is go and sort your issues politically. It's a political issue. It's not our issue.
So INEC may be misleading the public with what it has put there
yes,
on its website.
Yes, okay. There is no court order. I'm not aware.
But does INEC have any role here? Since Nenadi Usman is saying, look, INEC, can you step in and really resolve this? Who do you recognize as the electoral umpire is the true leadership
of Labour Party?
INEC has already said it's Abure. And if you are running an election tomorrow, and Abure does not sign your nomination, you will not run an election in Nigeria.
So if they have to go back to court, who exactly will go to court?
It is of course, Nenadi Usman faction must go to court. And they have to go to court and bring in INEC. Why are you still recognizing this man? When so and so has happened? When by our constitution, which you have, as demanded by the Constitution of Nigeria, that you must give INEC a copy of your constitution. And like I said, it's not cosmetic. It is for them to know this is the authentic constitution. And don't forget, you cannot hold a meeting to elect party officials without giving INEC 21 days notice. So if INEC is there and they elect Abure for 4 years, at the end of that 4 years, INEC expects that you will give it 21 days notice before another election is held. So INEC comes, sits down, either Abure is re-elected or he is defeated. Then INEC will now have a podium upon which it will say, this man has been removed.
Right.
Yes. So, but you in the day-to-day running of political parties, courts don't go there. But like I said,
it looks like a precedent is being set here.
Yes.
So? Because Supreme Court has ruled, and now they still have to go back to court to start afresh.
Yeah, going back to court is because and you see when we are dealing with cases, particularly Supreme Court decisions, you have to understand the issues that were before the court. All the cases are not decided generally. Right. You decide a case based on the peculiar facts of that case. If you know what they took to court, it doesn't mean that any time there is a dispute in a political party that courts do not. I'm giving you expansion.
You wonder what's happening with the
yes.
internal mechanisms of political parties in Nigeria. And it doesn't look like this crisis is ending anytime soon.
It's not ending. It's not going to end.
Yeah, I get to hear from a gentleman who calls himself also the national chairman, Mr. Papa, who in recent times said his thing. I get to hear from those who call themselves the owners of the party, the labor unions in Nigeria. So, but it's an ongoing conversation.
It's not ending.
Thank you so much.
It's not ending.
Never-ending story.
Thank you very much. Last time was PDP. What song
do you do when there's a
what do you
problem
do?
like
Labour Party?
Well, this is not a mockery of the Labour Party. We're hoping that they can actually find the internal mechanism, you know, to resolve their